What's up everybody, Black Death here. Going to give you an in-depth game review today of The Walking Dead Survival Instinct. Survival Instinct is a first-person action shooter developed by Terminal Reality and published by Activision. It's based on the Walking Dead television series in contrast to the video game by Telltale Games, which is based off the comics. Survival Instinct acts as a prequel to the TV series and is set in the Georgia countryside and focuses on Daryl and Merle Dixon as they make their way to Atlanta during the early days of the zombie apocalypse. When I first heard about Survival Instinct, the timeline and story sounded like a great premise to base the game from. All of the trailers I saw promised what I thought would be like a Fallout-type adventure, scavenger, zombie murder spree with Merle Dixon by my side. However, the game doesn't deliver that at all. In fact, there was very little interaction with Merle. I figured he'd be splattering zombie brains with me by my side the whole way through. Instead, you make your way through several missions just to rendezvous with Merle, and then only together for a brief moment and split up again not to be seen to the end of the game. This was extremely disappointing and didn't make a lot of sense to me. The game runs off the Infernal engine, developed by Terminal Reality, and it's exactly that, irritating and tiresome. The graphics look and feel dated, especially for PC. They tease you with some anisotropic filtering, which is a fancy way to say pixel blending, in order to improve graphics and textures. However, with all the visual settings set to their maximum, the game still looks bland and dated. The animations and speaking mannerisms are mediocre at best. Textures and shading seem nearly non-existent and are extremely disappointing for this day and age in video games. The voice acting is awesome as expected by Norman Reedus and Michael Rooker, who played Daryl and Merle respectively. However, during the gameplay there are maybe a dozen or so canned phrases that Daryl blurts out, which gets old pretty quick. The music is the crutch in this game. It does an amazing job to set the tone and the mood, especially in situations where you don't know what may lie around the next corner. There were a few moments, thanks to the music, my heart was pounding, unknowing when or where the next big surprise will happen. Like everything else in this game, the controls, menus, and GUI overall are limited, clunky, and poorly laid out. One of my biggest pet peeves was the varying mouse sensitivity depending on what item you're holding. For example, a melee-type weapon would favor a slow and fairly smooth movement. However, after switching to a firearm, it would almost double the sensitivity, making it jerky and choppy. It was cumbersome to attempt to find a happy medium, and I had to go into the menus constantly to adjust it. The inventory system and item use in general is the worst I've ever seen. Inventory is extremely limited. 10 items, 8 essentially though, because you're forced to keep 2, the hunting knife and crossbow. And item stacks are limited as well. Weapon switching is notchy and not smooth. There's thumbnail overlays for the weapons, and if you have a lot of weapons to choose from, the preview is very quick, and so it's difficult to find what you're looking for if there's a lot of choices to choose from. Gameplay has to be completely interrupted in order to make use of common items like energy drinks and MREs. Upon using such an item then, you're left empty-handed afterward and forced to reselect a weapon again. You do run into a wide array of survivors along the way. However, their interactions, and especially their roles while partied up with you, are nothing short of insignificant. Decision-making stems from choosing a simple A or B type mission path, which introduces a minuscule amount of variety to encourage replay. You're limited to about 5 selectable presets to loosely command those in your group. The choices are simply like find gas, or find food, or ammo, or stay in the car. Again, I expected some sort of by-my-side camaraderie, however that's simply not present in this game. Expect a lot of these fuckers to die, too. Those losers are so useless I soloed the majority of the game, versus wasting any time outfitting them with gear, which they'll just lose anyhow when they die. I was hoping for more of a Fallout feel, scavenging from whatever items I could find, and maybe even a makeshift crafting system, and a place where NPCs could actually tag along and aid in combat. My conclusion: the graphics are subpar, the story lacks depth, the controls and GUI are garbage, however the music is awesome. The game as a whole is extremely short. I completed my first run through in 6 hours. Now compare that to say Fallout 3, which I had 100 hours invested in. Survival Instinct isn't even in the same league. If you look at the developer's name, Terminal Reality, it says exactly that. It should be waiting to die. If you look at their resume, of previously released titles, they're all substandard turds with a select few exceptions of some 90s PC classics like Terminal Velocity and Monster Truck Madness. It's also apparent they put as much detail in their Survival Instinct as they did their website, which upon reviewing their previous title releases for this review, the majority of the links were broken and didn't even work. This screams no attention to detail and is certainly displayed throughout the game. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Walking Dead series, don't get me wrong. However, AMC took 2 steps back with this Survival Instinct game, especially after having such a great success with the Walking Dead series from Telltale Games. I feel the game was not polished at all and was rushed to market with an extremely limited budget. This game could have had a lot of potential if it were developed by the right studio, had a modern game engine, and wasn't so slapped together. Now, if you're a die-hard Walking Dead fan, then I would recommend you wait for this title to hit the bargain bin, which shouldn't take long. Otherwise, I'd say don't waste your time. My final scoring: graphics, C-, sound and music, B+, controls, menus, and GUI, F, gameplay, C-, overall, a C-. Hope you enjoyed this review. Like and subscribe, share with your friends. I'm out of here. See ya.